Hello everyone, welcome back to Timberborn, to the settlement of Folktails on the Spillage Map. That's what I usually start with, but today I shall start with something like, good news everyone, new patch was released. So actually on a Monday, the 2nd of March, a new patch was released, and this one is rather significant because a whole new feature, automation, was added to the game. I mean, there were more changes, obviously, with this patch, but really the big thing, the new addition, is that now the automation is in the game, and that's huge. I can imagine this is really going to change quite significantly how we manage the colony in general. So if I come back to the game, I can see that over here, right next to the science tab, there is a new tab, automation, and voila, we have all sorts of sensors, stations, meters, counters, and whatnot. A bunch of new buildings that we can play with. I'm very excited to try it. I read those patch notes, obviously, but I didn't really study everything in detail to know everything, how it works. So this shall be really fun to explore, have a look at each piece of the automation, how it works, come up with some ideas, how can we use it in our colony and stuff like that. So I'm very much looking forward to this. At first though, I would like to just quickly recap where we left off. So in the last video, we sort of expanded the power production with these large wind turbines, also having a gravity battery to store the power. We are pumping some bed water and producing some extract over here. Now, these bed tide drains are enclosed right now, so there shall not be any bed water flowing during bed tide. I'm still sort of waiting for the bed tide so that we can test it in action. But yeah, this area shall not be flooded with bed water anymore, and that way we can try to get down here to work with this water seep and use this water. To do that though, I'm still sort of waiting for this water to evaporate, as there is some bed water inside as well, and I just don't want the beavers to get contaminated. Also, we need to get rid of these thorns. I actually received an interesting comment about these thorns. Thank you for that. Also, thank you for other comments. I appreciate it very much. So, right, the tip was that I might use the tunnel to sort of dig beneath those thorns and get rid of them that way. But I suppose that's something that used to work in some earlier version of this game. I'm not really sure. I didn't know about this trick. So as of right now, I can see that the tunnel is really like showing red if I want to tunnel beneath thorns. So yeah, as of right now, I don't think this is really possible. Probably used to be a thing in some earlier version. Alright. Lastly, I'd like to mention this area over here. So I got an idea of like using the water seep over here to sort of create a lake in this area, irrigate this land, have an aquatic farmhouse on this lake, grow some more oak trees over here. So this is our like long-term project. I just started expanding the zipline network to slowly get there so that we can work there. That shall do for the introduction, and I also noticed a new notification that I shall select a recipe, and that's actually in the explosives factory, so that's new. Over here, recipe, we can choose explosives or fireworks. Alright, new addition, fireworks. I noticed that in the automation there's like firework launcher right here, so that's some fun with fireworks we can have later on. For now though, let's just keep producing the explosives. Alright then, and let's maybe have a look at the automation, shall we? As I still want to keep building the settlement, I sort of prepared some construction work for the beavers to do in the background while I want to have a look at the automation. So notably, I just expanded the zipline network a bit further down. Over here, just added another wind turbine, one more gravity battery. They are still working on this large warehouse, just so the beavers have something to do. The automation finally. So everything is unlocked with science, obviously. Luckily we have like 3,500 of science, so we shall be able to afford most of this. And right, I suppose like on the left we have like the most simple sensors and like the basics of the automation, and over here to the right side these are probably the more advanced. It even costs like way more science, like 1,000, 5,000, 7,500, so might not be able to unlock everything. Well, definitely not like 7,000 science, that's like not happening, right? But anyway, let's start from the left, from the simple things, I suppose. So a lever sends a manually controlled signal, a great first step toward automating a settlement. Okay, that's wonderful, that's what we are looking for. So unlock that, 50 science, that's fine. Also, this is rather cheap on the resources as well. You can see 1 plank, 2 gears. That's good to know that we can have this like relatively early on in a new settlement. Very good. Then how does this work? I actually have no idea because I've seen the patch notes and there was like a list of all the features, but I didn't actually read like how does it work in practice. Like how do you connect the buildings to those levers and sensors and whatnot? I have no idea. I will just have to try to build it, I guess. Well, does it need to be like next to a building? Maybe like the same way the power works? So when I click on the industrial buildings, I can see like how the power is connected. It is highlighted. So maybe there's something similar like to power shafts. We have like automating shafts. I don't know. But I haven't seen those over here. No. Okay, there's a gate that's new as well, but not really what I'm looking for. No, I don't see anything. Well, let's just build a lever and see, I guess. I don't know. I'm sort of thinking about trying to automate the water pumps maybe first. So let's have it like in this tiny place as it is empty and sort of fitting right there. Okay, so highest priority, let's try to build that. And well, I can already see that we can switch it on and switch it off like manually. The keyboard shortcut is U. Okay. There is spring return, and I have to say I have no idea what that is. That's probably due to the lack of my knowledge of what does this term mean in English. But let's see. How does it change? Oh, okay, I can see it. So if you actually hold this with your mouse button, then it's on. And once you release the mouse button, it goes off again. So, okay, that's interesting. I mean, I'm not exactly sure why do we need that, but I guess we shall see in the future. And over here we can also pin this somewhere. Oh, I can see it over here. Okay. On the left side of the screen, there is a new interface, lever 1. And I suppose we shall be able to control it from over this area as well. And that's the case. Alright. So this is on, the light is on. We can turn it off, the light is off. Wonderful. I've also read in the patch notes that you shall be able to change the color somehow. Right, I think I see it. Customize. Okay, so over here, customize, we can change the color. Green, orange, red, yellow, blue. I guess you can even get a custom color code and just paste it over there. That's pretty neat. So let's have this, I don't know, orange maybe? Why not? Ooh, it looks good. Alright, so that's wonderful, great and beautiful, but how do we actually connect it? I still don't know. I'm not seeing anything over here to connect it. Well, water tank. Water. Oh, right. Okay, I can see it. Alright, alright. Over here. There is a new automate button once I click on the building itself. So I suppose that's like for most of the buildings. Gear workshop can be automated. Alright. Zipline stations cannot be automated, but the forester, even the lodges. Alright, so probably like most of the buildings that can be like paused and whatnot can be automated. Alright, so let's try it with the pump. Like, I'm sort of thinking this is now connected to the lever. So this is on, but this is paused because, yeah, it's probably because it's like manually paused in here. Okay, so now this is on, and if I turn this off, it's off. Wow. Okay. What a surprise. Our people engineering just moved to the next level, I suppose. Now this is pretty cool that the icon, like over the large water pump, is actually in a blue circle, so I suppose that's indicating that it is automated. Unlike the one over here, this is paused manually, so it's like in the orange and red circle. Alright, that's pretty good. Well then, I guess we can get the second water pump automated as well. So now we can use just one lever, yeah, to open both and close both. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Nice. So this can be a very good solution early in the game. We can just use the lever, not pause everything manually. I mean, it is still manual, but we don't need to click on every single building, right? Very well, so that shall be the first step towards automation. And what's next? The second new building in the automation is a relay. Now this is rather cheap to unlock and build as well. So let's maybe get one like over here. I think I'm going to use this area as a test area for the automation. So a relay, let's prioritize building that. And what it does: performs simple logical operations on its input signals. Alright, so over here we can like, I can see, choose those logical operators, not, and, or, XOR, pass through. And then we can set different inputs like, right, like those levers. So let's maybe build another one just to test this. Alright, so we can use those levers or some sensors and whatnot, and then it will basically turn this on or off depending on how we set this up, and then something else can like happen or be, I don't know, automated somehow. Right, the relay is ready, so let's try the knot. This is basically going to like negate, yeah, I can already see it. It's negating like the signal from the lever. As the lever is off, the relay is on, right? If I turn the lever on, then the relay is off. So negating that basically. Then there is the and operator. So we need both of those levers. And if both of them are on, then the relay is on as well. So I can see only lever 1 was on, so the relay is off. And then if both are on, then this is on as well. Okay. Then there is OR. And that means the relay is on if any input is on. Right. So we can see that even if both the levers are on, then the relay is off as well. On as well. Then if just one of the levers is on, the relay is still on. And if both are off, then the relay is off as well. Alright. And then there is the XOR operator. And that means that the relay is on if one input is on. Right, so I believe the difference is that the XOR operator means that if both the levers are on, then the relay is off actually, unlike with the OR operator where, yeah, the relay is on in this case. Alright. So that's the difference between those two, and pass-through means that the relay is on if input is on. Alright. So that's just basically copying the settings of the lever. Right. Lever is on, relay is on, lever is off, relay is off. Alright. This is going to be pretty fun to, well, play with, I guess, later on, once we have a look at all those other like sensors and whatnot, and then set up some more, let's say, complex automation with this. Next, there are 3 sensors to, I would say, manage the water on the map. So we have a flow sensor. Let's see that. Measures water flow. A depth sensor. Measures water depth. Okay, and lastly, contamination sensor. Well, you can guess, measures water contamination. Alright, let's try to get those. I believe I read in the patch notes that they also changed the sluice, so let's check that as well. Right, so this used to be a sluice, and you could control if it like closes or opens based on a certain amount of contamination detected. And now it is a valve, and it works differently, I guess. I think you are supposed to get like the contamination sensor with the valve to do the same thing we used to be able to do with the sluice. Right, the valve are one-way water outlet with adjustable flow rate. So we can really adjust the flow limit, but there is no more the option to kind of check some boxes and say like close if you detect some bad water and stuff like that. So for that purpose, to have the same setup we used to have with the sluice, I suppose, yeah, we need the contamination sensor, and if you measure like more than 5% contamination, then we can probably automate this to kind of close. I guess we can use this even for those floodgates now. Yeah, those can be automated as well. Alright. So something to play with regarding the bed tide and the water flow in general. Yeah, water flow, well, I don't think we can really use that in our colony right now, but I guess the depth sensor, we could try to build. Okay, let me demolish that. I want to try building it like in this irrigation lake. So I think we could like automate the fluid dam, right? So let's get it maybe there. I suppose we can set this somehow that if we have enough water over here, then this can be paused and stuff like that. So let's try to do that. I think that could be a useful automation in our colony. Alright, so we need some gears and scrap metal actually to build this. That's interesting. Okay, so we have the sensor. Now how to set it up? Measurement 0. Why is it 0? Okay, I can't really do anything about that threshold. That's a bit weird. Well, okay, maybe I have this wrong and it needs to sit like on the block above the water level. Yeah, like looking at the blue square, I guess that's the case. I guess I got it wrong. Alright, let's try it this way then. Let's demolish this oak. It's a top priority as well. Alright, the oak is gone, so let me get the depth sensor again. Try to build it there instead. Okay, now it's measuring something. Alright, so now we have 0.2 meters of water over here. Okay, I think this can work somehow. Hopefully. So let's say we want to have this to be filled up to, I don't know, 0.8 maybe. And if we have less than 0.8, then we want to turn the fluid dump on, right? Is that correct? I'm sorry, I don't know. Not very good with math and logical operators and stuff. So this is on because we measure less than the threshold, right? And if this is on, then the fluid dump is on as well. Okay, so let's maybe try to set it to like, I don't know, 0.4, just to see it in action. Let's wait for the morning. So the beaver is there. It is on. Dumping some water. 0.38. 40. Oh. Yeah, because the water level needs to like adjust a little bit. But now this is off. And oh, I forgot to set this. Right. Okay. Now it is automated. So we have 0.42 and we have the fluid dump off. Okay, yeah, I think this can work. This is something we can do with all of the irrigation lakes we have. Also this dried out. I'm looking at this. But luckily the temperate season shall be back soon, so that's fine. And right, so let's set the threshold to like 0.8. Let's fill this up again. Okay, so I like that. This is good. This is going to be good. Alright then, next we have a chronometer here. So let's unlock that 450 science. And this is like a cute clock actually. Very pretty. And we can set this to like be on during only working hours or non-working hours, or at a specific time we set manually. And I'm sort of thinking how to use that. Well, I guess seeing how we have like full grilled potatoes warehouse over here, we could set the grill to just be grilling only, I don't know, 4 hours a day and then stop or something like that. I guess that's a potential usage for this. Alright. And then we have a weather station over here, 300 science. Now this one, oh, this is cool. It has those weather thingies on each side. I love that. But I think this might be something we can use to automate the water pumps. And I mean actually automate, not have the manual lever there. Weather station sends a signal based on the weather, right? So we can choose when this shall be active. Okay, so if we switch it to drought, I can see it is on because right now we are in drought. If I set it to be on during temperate weather, then it is off because, right, it is drought. So I think this is something we can test like right the next day because the seasons are going to change. So this is very convenient to try. I'd like to maybe build it somewhere else than this testing grounds over here because, yeah, I feel like I want to keep this. So let's see, somewhere over here maybe. Although this reminds me, I wanted to replace the medium tank with a large one as well. But yeah, maybe you could have it like so. So a weather station there. I'm going to put it as a top priority right now. Hopefully we can build it before the day ends, and I want to start emptying the medium tank. I will replace it with the large one also. Remove those stairs as we will need platforms over here. Then we can have those stairs there, for example. Is anyone building it? Did I put this as a top priority? No, not really. Okay, let's put these as like a high priority. And this one is the highest. Okay. Medium tank is empty. Let me quickly just fix that. Right, and we shall have another large tank like so. Let's connect it there. And the baby is already working on the weather station very well. So yeah, I want to have this active during temperate season. And then I'm going to change the large water pumps to be connected to weather station. Okay. You too. So I suppose this way now this shall be fully automated without me needing to pay any attention to that. And once the temperate season starts, we shall see this unpause and start working again. Activate early. Okay, this is interesting. What that means. Ooh, alright, we can activate this earlier. Alright, let's maybe try that, like, I don't know, 4 hours in advance? I guess it doesn't really matter because the beavers just like wake up in the morning to go to their jobs anyway. But let's maybe try that, why not? I guess it can be more useful if we are trying to automate something in preparation for example, for the bedtime. Let's speed up the time to get through the night for now. I'm excited to see this work. Right, so it is still off. We need like 4 hours before the temperature. Okay, and it turned on. The pumps are on, and that works. So that works perfectly as intended. And yeah, this is now fully automated. That's wonderful. This is so good to have. I'm loving this already, really. Fine then, what else can we unlock with the automation? So a power meter here, 600 science. Well, a bit more expensive on the science, but we can afford it. And the power meter monitors power network parameters. Alright. So we can choose a supply, demand, surplus, battery charge. And based on that, I guess turn some buildings off if we are like low on power or something like that. Guess that's what we can try to possibly set up over here with our batteries, let's say. If we have those batteries like charged to less than certain threshold, like 50%, alright, then I would like this smelter, for example, to turn off, right? Wait, it's off. I mean, it's interesting that it's even working, even though it is not built yet, but it still somehow shut down the smelter, so just something interesting about the automation. Anyway, it's not working as intended, right? Because we are measuring less than 50% of the battery is charged. And we want to sort of do the opposite of what's happening. So we need to connect the relay, I think the power meter, and then the smelter to the relay. No, does not work. No, well, it does work actually, because this is on, the relay is off, and the smelter is off, okay. But this is not really measuring our gravity batteries and how much they are charged, right? Yeah, we still need to like connect the battery to that somehow. But how? Is it with like this? No, it's just that it's on or off. Well, I don't know how to... I think I can see it. Like, if I look here, I think this little white circle is actually a power shaft, right? Yeah. So I suppose this needs to be connected to a power network, which sort of makes sense, I have to say. So let's connect it probably there as the highest priority to be built. Although it's the night, so that's fine. Maybe I could even just for now pause these wind turbines so that we start using the battery. And I'm going to remove this one just so I'm not confused with both power meters. Now the relay is connected to power meter, alright. And let's try setting it up one more time. Okay, so if we measure below 92%, then this goes on, which means the relay negates that and is off. So the smelter is off as well, right? If we go like to 88%, then this is off. The relay is on and the smelter is on. Okay, so let's watch this. Like, once the power consumption continues and this will hit the 88% threshold, the smelter should automatically pause. Okay, let's watch that then. And there it is. The light is on. It means the relay is off and the smelter shut down. Alright, so it works. I'm good at this, am I not? No, just joking. I mean, everything is so simple, but still, it's really fun to play with. Right, so this way, yeah, we can just shut the smelter. I mean, I'm going to put it to like, I don't know, 30%, let's say. And let's have it that way. Okay, so the smelter is running. Also, let's unpause the wind turbines. I mean, I'm not really going to test it further. Obviously, I can see that there are many more options and you can probably create a lot of various setup for the power and whatnot. But yeah, for my like testing purposes for now, that's enough with the power meter. Okay, next on the list we have population counter. So 200 signs for that. And I actually can see this needs to be like connected to a path, which is interesting because the other sensors, I believe, did not need to be connected to a path. So that's something different over here. A population counter monitors various population, housing and workforce metrics. Okay, so we can set it to be for a certain district. Alright, so that's I guess why it needs to be connected to a path, so that it kind of knows in which district it is. Okay, that makes sense, or well, globally. And right here, ooh, alright, so plenty of different things to choose from, like adult beavers, children beavers, boats, free beds, homeless, jobs, unemployed, healthy, unhealthy, contaminated. Alright, so I guess we can do quite a lot of things with that. Okay, let's prioritize building that as well. Now, I kind of wonder if I could use it to keep the population growing the way I like to do with, like, when I get the double lodge, which I might do as well. I mean, we can use more beavers, and I sort of am expanding the water storage over here, so hopefully we shall be fine with the water. But right, let's get another double lodge actually. And then what I like to do is to always like pause one of the small lodges so that we can grow the population rather slowly. So I wonder if I can somehow automate that with the population counter. I guess I shall be able to do something about that. Let's try to have a look. So I suppose I'm going to tie it to like children, that if we have like more than what, I don't know, 5 or 6, let's say 5 maybe could be a good number. So if we have more than 5 children, then I'd like to like turn this lodge off, right? But I think I will need the relay again because this is going to, well, this is going to be off right now, right? Because we have 2 children, so it is off. Or I can, yeah, I can do that instead, maybe. So if we have less than 5 children, then we want this lodge to be on as well. Let me see, okay. I think that should also do the same thing. If we have less than 5 children, then the lodge is on. Okay. And then once we have more than 5 children, the lodge will be off. Okay, let's try that setup. Also, I'm going to just highly prioritize this double lodge just to see how it works. Guess the beavers shall be able to build that. Also, I sort of intentionally put the double lodge on the other side of this, as I was thinking of having some decorations over here, or even like the monument maybe. I think it could fit there nicely. But for now, let's check that. So the double lodge is ready. we have 7 free beds. So that means we have 2 children now, and I suppose if 3 more children are born during the evening, then the lodge shall pause automatically. Alright, more children were born. Okay, yeah, and the lodge got paused, alright. So we are at those 5 children right now. This is paused. And I suppose the next day some beavers or some children can grow up and this will work again. Okay, so some sort of automation like that could work. I mean, I will keep an eye on this. This is just really the first try to set something up. So it seems it works, but still, I think I will need to keep an eye on it. But good, yeah, I think this is going to work somehow eventually. Very well, then next we have a resource counter as well as science counter over here. So 2 counters. And I can see the arrow, so this needs to be connected to a path again, but the science counter doesn't. Alright. What these can do, well, I suppose just like count resources, count science, so sends a signal based on stock level or storage fill rate of a specified good. Okay. Storage fill rate or stock level. Okay, that's interesting. And the science counter sends a signal based on science points. Alright, this one is pretty clear. I can see, right, if we have like more than, I don't know, 2000 science, then we want to do something. I guess we could use it like if we have enough science, then we don't necessarily need to run the observatory or something like that. But for now, as I'm really just spending all the science on this, I want to keep the observatory going, so don't think I'm going to use that. Or at least I don't see any other good option how to use this right now. But yeah, the resource counter, that's more interesting. Fill rate, how the storage is filled. Okay, full stock level. So I guess this is something I already sort of mentioned, like having the full storage of grilled potatoes. We probably don't necessarily need to be running the grill over here. Maybe we could try automating that. Like a resource counter. So if we have, I'm not sure how this fill rate works. Grilled potatoes. Where is it? Right, so if we have like more than, I don't know, 70% of the storage is full. Okay, the measurement right now is 100%, right, so this is full. Okay. Guess we shall do if we have less than 70%. Then it shall be on. So the grill shall be on. Something like that. I guess we shall see. Okay, let's try that. Something to look for in the future. Right, build that as well. And then an indicator. Okay, 400 science. So that's just like a cube. An indicator light with alerting capabilities. Okay. Like to build that. Okay, sorry beavers again. Let's just try to build it very quickly, please. It's really just 2 scrap metal, 1 pine resin. I guess you can do that. Oh, thank you, thank you. And I'm sorry again. So let's connect it to something like the chronometer maybe, because we can use that easily to set this to be on during working hours, right? Right. So now it's off because it's night. And okay, so once this goes on, this shall like indicate us with the, I guess we can pin it when on, show warning when switch on, add journal entry. What is that? Oh, I guess it's over here, like where we have the notifications of the beavers born and whatnot. Replicate input color. Okay, so that's just right. So if we set this to be green, we replicate that, then it shall be green as well, I suppose. Let's try to see that in the morning. And there it is. Also, a drought is approaching, I can see. So no bed water again. But yeah, here is like the warning, I can see. Indicator 1. It's over here as well. And pinned to the left side of the screen again. Having the green color. Alright, so this can be some, well, basically like whatever you want to be alerted of, or whatever you want to play with some colors, have some fun with that. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to remove those as I don't necessarily need that. Okay, then we can get a speaker as well as firework launcher. Finally, those fireworks. I'm pretty excited about those. So let's get these two for now. Firework launcher requires road access, as I can see again. Highest priority for these, and let's also unpause the explosives factory and produce some fireworks. Alright, might as well get a small warehouse to store those over here. Fireworks are produced from bed water again, so shall not really be an issue. Although we are sort of low on bed water now when I talk about it. Maybe I could get like another bed water pump over here. Might be a good idea. Guess we can pause the centrifuge for now. We have plenty of extract in storage, and I mean we are not really using it right now for anything. I sort of plan to unlock the double and triple dynamite, which requires extract, as well as some like well-being buildings, so we can pause that for now. We even have one unemployed beaver, I can see. Alright, maybe get a couple more haulers again. Alright, so back to these two. Right, so the speaker, we can, well, make noises. We can play it once or continuously, and spatial, non-spatial. And there's a couple of noises. I don't know. Okay, let's, I guess, get the alarm for now. Alright, and the firework launcher. We can choose, alright, the type of the fireworks, so some comets, fish, Kamura, I don't know, palm, sparks, willow, okay, all sorts of things. This is going to be very fun to try out and like create like a bunch of those launchers and just have some creative setup with all those fireworks. You can adjust the heading and the pitch, flight distance. Okay, this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. Fine then. How is this looking? Well, we do have 10 fireworks already. Alright, I like seeing that. Well, maybe let's get the speaker automated again to, I don't know, the chronometer again, for example. So We shall see it like in the morning. Okay then, I'm not sure if you could hear that in the video, but it makes some noises. So that's the speaker. I'm going to turn it off for now. And then I suppose we can just like automate this with the lever over here. Which firework shall we try? I'd like to see the fish, that sounds interesting, so maybe put like over the snake, something like that. Okay, fly distance, I don't know. Let's keep it in the middle for now. And we even have those fireworks over here. So that's pretty good. Okay, let's watch that then. Lever 1. Phew! Where is it? Oh, it's all over. Okay, let's try again. There it goes. Okay, so these are the fish. Alright, I can see that. Let's try comet. Ooh, alright. Very nice. Kamuro. That one was pretty good. Palm. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Then we have peony. Violet, maybe? And there it is. Sparks. Wonderful. Just wonderful. And Velo. Oh, this is so cool. Alright, I'm like looking forward to create some serious fireworks with those. So, well, I'm sort of low on science right now with all this unlocked. And I'm getting to those like more advanced, I would say, automation stuff. So, detonator, right. I guess that's just detonating the dynamite. It's more than 1000 science to unlock, can't really afford that. I could get the timer still. Yeah, let's maybe check that one as well. But then there is the memory, 1000 science, HTTP lever and adapter. So those are very expensive. Oh yeah, memory over here. I can see like the description, a cornerstone of advanced automation. So I suppose this one is really going to upgrade everything we are doing, I guess. Well, let's just see the timer, shall we? So applies time-based processing to its input signal. Sequential updates once per tick. Okay. Alright, I can already see this is going to be a bit more complex and a bit more complicated. But let's see, we can choose delay, pulse, oscillator, accumulator. Alright, I have no idea what are these. I mean, I just don't understand it in English, and probably I would not even understand this in my mother tongue, but we can figure it out, I mean, just by trial and error. That's what I like doing, so we can start with the delay. I can understand the delay, so delay, let's delay, I don't know, the lever, I guess. And the firework is connected to the lever, so yeah, maybe we can try that. We can reset that, it's optional, so let's maybe not use that right now. So let's delay the lever by, well, 6 days, hours. Okay, I don't know, by 1 hour. Off by another hour. I don't know. Okay, let's try to build this actually. That's probably the good idea where we shall start. Might need to extend the working hours a little bit again, as I don't see any beavers coming around. Oh, they're awesome. And this is just one treated plank and one metal block, so rather easy to do. Okay, thank you, my beavers. So now we have this set, so I suppose if I, well, turn on the lever, then it shall be delayed by an hour or something like that. Let's see. So, turn on, no, it just goes on. Well, then I don't know. I'm probably doing something wrong. I don't know. Delay A on by. There is this like an hour. Maybe the lever is not the best thing to use that with. Let's maybe try the chronometer again. So this shall go on in the morning for the working hours. Okay, let me slow down the time a little bit so that we can see that. The chronometer is on. But it is doing something over here. I'm not sure what though. Oh, alright, and now this is on. Okay, so it's like by... Alright, I can see it. Okay. I got it, like a little bit now. So this was delayed. I guess then... I mean, it could work with the lever, right? So let's reset. Let's try the lever again, actually. So, alright, and now the timer starts. Okay, I can see it now. So, 1 hour, this goes on. Alright, and if I turn the lever off, right, alright, so that's the off bar, that's the T2. Okay, I didn't really understand it at first, but yeah, that's really like you can just always try this stuff, and just by trial and error we now see how it works. Okay. I mean, what's oscillator? Alternates between on and off while A is on. Alright, so it will be like 1 hour on, second hour off. Right, it's ticking here. Okay. Alright, that's interesting. Okay, I can see this now. Accumulator. On if A is on for a total of at least an hour. Resets. So if the lever is on for an hour, then this will go on as well. Okay. So that's very interesting. I mean, this is a bit more advanced, I can totally see that. And I haven't even unlocked the memory. I guess that's going to add even more to the complexity and possibilities that we can create with all these automations. Very well, then I'm going to stop the video here. It was very fun to explore the automation, to like test these sensors. I mean, what I have is like some very basic setup, and I even already noticed some flaws in the beaver automation. Like, let's say the depth sensor over here, it sort of calls in the beaver once it needs to be like refilled to the 0.8 meter. So the beaver dumps a little bit of water to reach the 0.8, and then he like goes away. but as the water evaporates rather quickly, he's not called back in a minute, so definitely something to improve, something to work on. It's not perfect. I'm looking forward to do that. The automation is super cool, a lot of fun to play with, so we shall continue with that definitely, like improving the basic setups, and I'll try to come up with some other ideas how to use those sensors. And let's maybe check what other beavers doing. So really, they are slowly but surely getting these zipline stations. Yeah, not much was constructed in this video, but this was really mostly about checking out the new automation stuff and exploring that. Also, drought is approaching, so I'm happy to see our tanks full of water. Even the new large tank is filled up, so we shall be fine regarding that, I think. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, full of automation, and goodbye.